Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Intuitive Wisdom Tarot. I'm Jen, and I'm so glad you're here. If you're finding this, you are meant to be here now. We are in waning moon energy, and we are going to look at the messages coming through for earth signs. This is not the time to push. This is the time to release. This energy is soft, it's reflective, it's that deep exhale your body has asking for since the full moon. Not everything is meant to go with you into your next chapter. And that's not failure, that's alignment. So as we move into this reading, I want you to take a second. Unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders, come back into your body, and ask yourself honestly, what am I holding on to out of habit, fear, or comfort that I know I've outgrown? Be sure to tap like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I love connecting with you. Earth signs, let's get started. We're going to go ahead and start with a wisdom of the oracle to get a general message and a general energy for this waning moon energy. What message for earth signs for their waning moon? Excellent. Thank you, Spirit. And earth signs, we are getting for you unfinished symphony. Number 10. So 10 is a number of endings, a number of coming to the end of a cycle. However, there are some things that you are needing to reflect on because it quite has not finished what it's needed to do. So let's see what message is coming through for unfinished symphony, number 10. Here we go. All right. Essential meanings, unfinished business, an incomplete lesson, lack of closure, the need to make amends. The oracle message is, this is a time to tie up loose ends as you near the completion of a cycle or project and mastery of a lesson or skill. Before you can move forward, it is important that you come to terms with where you are now. Practice radical acceptance. Take inventory so that emotional and psychological closure can occur and the answers you seek will be found. You can't move forward if you are leaving things unfinished. Reflect on what has passed so that the symphony can finally end on a high note. So this is really a time for reflection, a time to really tap in to your body and to your emotions, and really see what is something that is that nagging little feeling or nagging message of, again, reflecting, maybe making amends, maybe radically accepting. I mean, that's a big thing to do, but something needs to be reviewed and reflected upon before closure. So this is a great time, especially during the waning cycle. Again, it's not a time to push. It's a time to really just release those things that no longer serve. Really think about your cycle. What were some things that maybe didn't come to fruition? Is it something that still needs to continue, or is it something that needs to be released? All right, we're going to jump into tarot. Let's see what's coming through for earth signs for this waning moon cycle. Thank you, Spirit. And earth signs, we are starting with the Emperor. This is the energy you are needing to embody or are embodying during this cycle. We then have the Ace of Swords. This is the energy that you are needing to release. We have the Hermit, which is the energy you are needing to lean into. And advice from Spirit is the Ace of Pentacles. All right, so there's definitely something that needs to be, in a sense, soul searched. Like, what is it that really is meaningful to you. We have 2 aces here. So there is something new, a very big beginning too. Mind. So you have a message coming through. You have some thoughts and ideas, and it's for you to manifest on this earthly plane, right? So you have some things that you are needing to bring in. But before, there's some reflection that needs to happen. Now, on the bottom of the deck, we have the 3 of Pentacles. This is the energy underneath it all. And this is an energy of community, of collaboration, of working together, building, creating, but working together as a team to build and create. So there's an energy of you really working as a team. So I'm getting a very positive energy off of this. So it could very well have been you just started a project, right? And the people that you have come into work with, you're collaborating, you're working well, things are flowing. You are able to express yourself and have been able to express yourself. But I'm getting an energy that underneath it, there are some residual things. There could have been a very tough cycle in a community that you once worked with, that there are still some things that you need to resolve. Some repressed energy, some repressed emotions, maybe from a cycle. And so what Spirit is asking you is to bring those up, because you're flowing right now, and you don't want to get that. You don't want those things to come up when you are in the middle of flowing, and then it create a creative block, or it create some I'm getting imposter syndrome, some second guessing yourself, right? So those are the things that are those unfinished things that are needing to be brought to the surface so that they can be healed, right? So that they don't interfere as you are moving forward with this new collaboration, with this new thing that you're building, because what you're building is something that's strong. The community that you have now grouped with, whether it's in work, whether it's your family, whether it is a business you just started, but you are vibing real well, creatively, professionally, like spiritually, with your crew that you're working with. And so that is something that you are needing to pull up some of those things that may have been residuals from that last cycle so that you can resolve them. Now, your energy is the Emperor. This is the energy you are walking in this read with, this waning moon energy. So you, again, that's why I'm saying you could have very well have started your own business. You could have very well have stepped into a leadership role, because this is a bossed up energy. This is a very masculine energy. So it is an active, it's an initiation, it's a fiery energy. So again, there's that double doing, right? Leading, but doing it in such a strong, authoritative, kind, like I'm getting a very kind-hearted, but you know what you want, right? You know how it needs to go. And you have done all of the work before to get to this point. So that's why it's very important that if there's any residuals from a past, like any imposter feelings that you're getting, or thoughts that come through. So really, Spirit is asking you, because you have achieved this level, whether again you're starting your own business, you stepped into a leadership, maybe you have started a family, but you are in this role of really leading and leading well. The stuff that could be underneath, we don't want it to come up, because, well, we do. We want it to come up, bring it up, but we want it to come up now so that we can resolve it. So be aware. Advice coming through is like, be aware of your self-talk. right? When you are, when you're leading, or when you are guiding, or when you are stepping into this role, and let's say you make a mistake, or let's say there's a challenging person that comes through, or they challenge your thought, your idea. Do you go, oh, maybe they're right? Or, oh yeah, I remember that time. Are you second guessing yourself, right? Are the first thoughts, or are the thoughts going, that's an interesting point. I never thought of it that way. Or, yes, that is something that I'll take into consideration. But this is how we're going to do it and move forward, right? There's so many different ways that you can do this, but you want to be aware of what those thoughts are when that stuff happens, right? Also in your body, when there are certain roles, again, as a leader, you have to sometimes put yourself in some difficult roles, right? Is there a point where, again, we get nervous, we get scared? I mean, maybe you're public speaking, maybe you are, again, giving a, I don't know, a speech, or a class, a training. Are you like feeling those nervous jitters, right? Because that's natural. But are you allowing those nervous jitters for you to say, oh, now I'm second guessing myself? Is what I wrote, is what I've researched, is what I've put together going to be good enough? If those are the things that are coming through, that's that unfinished business for you to let it come through. Let it rise, acknowledge it, acknowledge that these are feelings. I'm getting a lot of like facts. So like when we think about anxiety that comes through, because I'm getting an anxious energy. When we ask that anxiety, first off, we don't want to push it back down. We don't want to swallow it. We want to face it and say, yes, I am feeling anxious. I am feeling symptoms of anxiety, right? My heart is pounding. If this is something because there's that stimuli, right? What is it that's causing that? If you know what that is, because I have to get up on stage, or now I have to give a presentation, those are natural things. So yes, my body's going to react that way. I'm going to breathe, and I'm going to face it, even though I know I'm nervous. And I'm going to trust myself in knowing that I have prepared and done everything that I need to do, right? If it's something like we have anxiety that's starting to come up and we don't know where it comes from. We're sitting in our office and we're writing our speech or writing the presentation on what we do, and then all of a sudden we just feel anxious. What are those thoughts, right? And that anxiety is saying there's something that needs to come up to the surface. And so then that is where you look at it with curiosity. Identify the physiological things. What's happening with your body? Is your heart racing? Are you sweating? Are you feeling hot in the cheeks, right? Name those, because those are the things that help us to go, hey, something's being unmet, or something needs to come up, and that's what's happening. So there's a big leadership and a big energy around you being in the space of there's some unfinished business because you have stepped into this role. Like, face some of those fears, face some of those things, but face it with curiosity and gentle, and with a way of saying, you know what, I'm going to meet you here. Yeah, I am nervous, or yeah, that scares me. But do you know what? I know that we can get through it together, right? That's what you are really telling you and yourself. Your higher self is saying, hey, we'll be there for you, right? Now, if you are an earth sign that is not here yet, that is your big advice. Become aware of your thoughts. Become aware of the things that are happening within your body. Become aware of how you feel your feels, right? Because that's going to give you the opportunity to face them. If things come up and you're like, I don't even know how to do this, write it out. Number one, write it out. And again, it's the process of letting it go. And those again are things for only your eyes. I call it it's a written up chuck, right? A written throw up. Let it go. And then rip that up and throw it away. That is because it is for you, and it's the process of you doing that so that you can get to this confident leader and being able to take decisive action. That's where you're meant to be. Now, the energy that you are needing to release is, I'm getting a big shift in mindset. There's new thinking coming through. New thinking on whatever you are building, right? So if you are in a creative endeavor with creating something, like, again, it could be artistic. Maybe you could be a musician. Maybe you're collaborating on something. You're working with fine arts or things like that. Then your mindset, right, on what, again, I'm getting this confidence, what you feel about yourself, about what you're creating. If you are like, I live, breathe, and eat for this. This is my life. And when you're presenting it out there and your mindset is like, oh, you know what? I'll never be good enough, right? That's what's going to happen. You'll never be good enough because that is what you're listening to yourself. So again, there's a big energy of it's time to release that old story, that old mindset, those old outgrown thoughts, right? Of you for whatever you're creating. Okay. So you have the knowledge, you have the talent, you have all of the things that you need. And in fact, Spirit is saying, please release that. Please let that old mindset go. Please clear and create space, because I'm going to be sending some downloads. I'm going to be sending some things that are going to be inspiring, right? Our Ace of Swords is a very like, it's raw power. It is, again, you're going to be creating things, like you're going to get those downloads, and then from there it's going to come through. You are building. We have two aces here. You're building. So this is that spark, this is the action, this is the trust, and we'll get to that, and this is bringing it and manifesting it here in this realm, right? So it's really important to take that space. So again, that question that was asked, what are you holding on to out of habit? Okay, what were some of those old habits, those old routines, those old things that have been a part of that old mindset? Okay, what are you holding on to out of fear, right? I got some fear and releasing some of that with the Emperor. So release those things. If it is, I'm now a public speaker and I'm fearful of getting up on that stage, how can you help to allow your body to become accustomed to that? Maybe you start speaking in a mirror, right? Maybe you start recording yourself and listening so that you can hear and improve your speech. Maybe you have a small group of friends and you're like, I need some pointers. Maybe you sign up for a class for public speaking. So there's lots of different things, and that is really what is coming through. Like, what is it that you're holding on to out of habit, fear, or comfort? Those are the things that need to be released because they're attached to that old mindset. And Spirit is saying, I am coming through, and there are going to be a ton of downloads. And it's because you've called it in. It's because this is what you wanted to do. And so it's time to clear up that space in that old cycle so that you can make room for the new stuff coming through. Now, the energy you are needing to lean into is the Hermit. And this is, again, It's a solitary card, and I'm getting two things. The first one is you have been in hermit mode. This was a safety mechanism. This is something that you did to keep yourself safe, right? Earth signs, you're very grounded. And it's safety and stability is something that you are wanting, and you create, right? It's important to you. So you throughout whatever this cycle was, created a coping of maybe fleeing, right? Maybe going and becoming quiet. You withdrew. You may have withdrawn physically, right? This is combative, and so I'm leaving the room. Maybe within my relationship, we were struggling, and so instead of expressing myself, I'll work on it myself. But I'm leaving, right? And you left things unsaid. So there's this energy that it's important to lean into taking what you've learned about yourself, right? You did that out of fear. You did that to feel safe and secure. But there's also something that you are needing to bring into this world. So you are meaning to come down this mountain and start sharing, right? Sharing your wisdom, sharing your thoughts, your ideas, sharing the purpose, the uniqueness that you have, right? Because it's important. That is something, and I'm feeling that it's a repressed thing. It's something that you want to do, but again, you had developed that habit out of fear, for comfort, for safety. And it's now time for you to get out of hermit mode. Get out of that I'm gonna withdraw. Because there were many, many lessons. There are lots of wisdoms, lots of things that you are here to share, and it's now time, right? That's because there is safety that has been created, right? And if you are saying, no, Jen, that is not anything I feel. I just don't feel safe, because that's where I'm at. That's where you are going through. What is that unfinished business? What is the stuff that is coming up, right? When are the things happening, or what is happening that is causing you to want to withdraw or retreat? Is it because they're like it's with your relationship with you and your partner? Okay, that is that old cycle that you need to release that energy. So maybe you do face a fear and just say, you know what, I am feeling anxious about what's happening right now. Use those I statements. We need to talk, right? And be vulnerable, and really see how and what you do with that, right? Trust yourself. Trust that you are going to do what's best for you. You and your higher self, right? You and spirit, you and your divine. That's all there to help guide you, right? Now, the second is very similar, but it's you have been in hermit mode, and it wasn't because of out of safety or a mechanism. It's because I am wanting to, like, I have something to say. I have something to create. I have been in this hermit mode so that I'm digesting this stuff coming through, because I am ready to come down the mountain. I am ready to be the one that is sharing my purpose, sharing my wisdoms, sharing the things that I need, right? So it is time. Spirit is saying, lean into that drive, lean into that fire energy of saying, I am coming out. I have the talent, I have the knowledge, I have the spiritual support. I have the confidence. I have the wisdom. I have all of the things that are there to guide me, and I am pushing forward. So lean into that, right? But again, if there's anything that comes up mentally, right? Emotionally, like that's really saying, oh, wait, there's that imposter syndrome coming up. That is what you are needing to face. That is what you are needing to take a look at. And then maybe you step into doing some assertive training, taking some leadership. I mean, finding some books out there. There's lots of different things, but it's a point of where you're doing it. This stuff is coming up so that you can face it, so that you can work with it, and you can move forward by being able to release those things that no longer serve you, those things that you've outgrown. Now, advice from Spirit is the Ace of Pentacles. There is a brand new opportunity coming through. Just like the Ace of Swords, that's that spark, that's that inspiration. And now it's time to get your hands in the soil, to start nourishing, to allow those roots to grow, because what is coming through, you are growing something that is abundant, that's going to be prosperous. And again, this is very victorious. This is a victory card. So what you are building, if you take the time, the effort, and you are really saying, I'm building this strong with myself, right? Building it here with my resources, with the community I'm working with my own spirituality and my own wisdom, there is something that is going to blossom, right? This is a seed ready to bloom. And this is Pentacles. Pentacles is all about like riches, abundance, like resources. So whatever you're building it very, very strong, and you're building it to last, right? And that is again where this is that perfect time to say, you know, I'm releasing those things. What is not meant to go into this next chapter? And it's not failure, right? It's not saying, okay, well, though that failed because that's what I wanted to do, but now I'm not doing it. No, it's just alignment, right? You are being aligned. Spirit is helping you along the way to say, this stuff is not meant to come with you in this next chapter, because there's lots of new things that are going to help you grow and prosper. You have new ideas, right? New purposes. You have a story. You have a wisdom that it's time to come through, and that could not have happened months or years or weeks ago because you weren't that same person, right? You didn't go through the experiences that you have gone through. You haven't gone through the ups and the downs to this point. Now that you have all of those things that you've done on your path, you now have the wisdom and the means to know, what am I going to nourish? What am I going to continue to put into the soil to help this seed prosper, to help the seed grow and crack? So your advice is to really get down into taking that action, right? That physical plane. So I have my idea. I've done my work. I'm going to take care of all that unmet stuff. I'm going to release it. I might even need to radically accept, right, that nothing can come of this. And so I'm just going to let that go. And then I'm going to start taking that first step and that second step and that third step. I'm going to start getting my hands in the soil. I'm going to start tilling. I'm going to start really helping to create this as we go. Beautiful message. All right, we are going to end with a way to cultivate calm, a way to allow yourself to, again, really tap into your physical, your emotional, and your spiritual world. Let's see what's coming through for earth signs. Thank you, Spirit. And we are getting yes to yoga. Yoga is a fantastic way to simultaneously focus body and mind, leaving you with a newfound sense of positivity and connection. Fire signs got this same card. And so it's really interesting, especially for the fact that we have the mind and body with our aces. Yoga is a beautiful practice. Now, a lot of people are just saying, oh, it's just getting into tying your body into a pretzel. That is not what yoga is. There's a yogic mind. There's a yogic body, right? There's the way that you live a yogic lifestyle. And so really what it's asking you is to tap into your mind and your body. Give yourself the space, right? There's a meditation that goes along with this. So some of you might need to visualize, like if you need to, maybe you take a Nidra class where you go and it's all about meditation. It's really tapping into that mind and connecting it to your body, right? A lot of rest. Maybe you take a yin class or a restorative class, which is a lot of I'm releasing some of that emotional tension, right? The things that have built up, that unfinished business. Emotions accumulate in our bodies. Like when we are repressed, they're in places. So it's time for you to go release that tension, right? Or build strength and flexibility, flow. So there's things like yoga where you can, again, really focus on that mind body connection so that you can, again, relieve some of those emotions, let go of some of those things that do not need to come in this next chapter. All right, earth signs, that's what I have for you for this waning moon energy. Please drop me a comment. Let me know if there's any feel-good vibes I can send your way, and I will definitely send them on. Until we meet again, with much love and appreciation, be well. See you next time. Bye-bye.